Hello, I'm Steve Tube and I'm an alcoholic. That's my explanation for all this stuff. Because you know, there's a saying that you shouldn't drink and drive. Well, it should be a saying you shouldn't drink and get on eBay. Because you wake up with a headache and a room full of crap. And with that, let's begin over here. This is a promo poster for the Anthology Project. And I'm so glad they did that. Kind of helped end their story instead of the way it did, and they kind of put a little bow on it. Anyway, this is the boys through the years, their music, their story, their video. And here's a videotape. You know, there was a time when I couldn't give these away, but they're coming back now. I guess some of them are collector's items, so don't put them in the landfill yet. And over here we have, this is the cover they used for the Beatles for Sale. And they used to all tease George because they said, hey, it's a nice turnip haircut you got there because you look like a turnip. Yeah, they're just teasing him. And here's the boys, the Fabs at the Sgt. Pepper party. It was at Brian's house, and John came as Groucho. Okay, now this is, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles! Yeah, anyway, this is a poster that came with the #1 album. And it's got really nice sleeves from all over the world. And it's really nice. You could spend a long time looking at that. That's a nice poster. Okay, and over here we got War is Over. And that's something that John and Yoko did in December of '69. They had these giant billboards all over the world. And they had that. And it kind of went along with the Christmas song. War is over. Happy Christmas. Okay. Well, all right, here. Can you see that? Am I in the way?
No, we're getting in front.
I put a little sticker down there. And it says, The Beatles, 1869. Because you know, that picture could actually be from 1869. And I think 1,000 years in the future, they'll look at that and say, these were a pioneer group that came from across the sea. And they were called the Beatles. And they were famous for playing the ukuleles and the banjo. And unfortunately, they perished in a plane crash over Portland, Oregon. We got our news information from Fox. Okay, and then here we have the Sea of Science. That's from the Yellow Submarine. And in the background they were playing George's It's Only a Northern song. And here, this is kind of like a takeoff on Andy Warhol from The Hard Day's Night. They're all very, very pretty. Look at, there's not a beagle. And over here we have the one-sheets from the movies, Help and Let It Be. We didn't have enough room in the movie hallway, so they ended up back here. And this is a 3D poster I got from the UK, and all I got out of it was a 3D headache. I can't get it to work for me. And I'm rushing through these kind of fast, but I wanted to, this is an album that came from our album collection, and the reason I got it out is it's one of the only ones left that still has the shrink on it, because in the late 70s I had read that if you leave the shrink on, it could warp your albums, and you know, I tore all the plastic, all the shrink off all of them. My book of regrets, that's one of them. But the reason I left this price tag on there, it's $3.75. That's when I bought it. Okay, oh, and this one here. This is a poster I got from a friend in LA. And that's all I'm going to say about that. leave that be. Okay, and then over here we have their famous butcher. We could talk about that for a long time. I run through it real quick, just real quick. Where I got most of my information in the 60s is my friend's older sisters. And she told me that the Yesterday and Today had this different picture underneath. So I finally found one in the late 66. They were dumping all the mottos, and I took it home and steamed off. I steamed off the first cover, and as usual, I overdid it. And I ended up steaming off the slick. And as I was taking off the first top cover, I'd never seen it before, so it was all new and a surprise. And I just said, "Good God, no wonder they." But the thing is that the top original, the one they covered up, it was like tissue thin. That's why you could see through it. And this one, when the slick came off, the slick was like a heavy-duty paper. It felt different. It felt rough, like wallpaper or an oil canvas. And the paper was just a different quality. It was thicker. And I have never heard anyone explain that. Why did they do that? Why was that paper so different? Why did it have an oil canvas feel to it? Going. Okay, Yellow Submarine. That's fun. They were released that at the end of the 90s, remastered it, and then sold boatloads of new toys and memorabilia and merchandise. I can't believe how much Yellow Submarine stuff came out. Now this, the magic of the Beatles, can only be heard on Capitol records and tapes. And it says the original, because this came out around the time of that movie with the Bee Gees, Sgt. Pepper, but... And the funny thing about this is it promotes the Capitol catalog, but as you notice, there is no Let It Be. Let It Be is missing. And so eventually, EMI, Capitol, bought United Artists and cleared all that up. They got Let It Be back in, plus A Hard Day's Night. So it was no longer on United Artists. And over here, this is, let's see, this is the poster that came out to promote the Red and Blue Greatest Hits album. And then just a few years later, they kind of tweaked it and re-released it again. This was for the Rock and Roll album. So that's both versions. That's what they looked like in 75, I guess. And here's a tour. And this one, they have Richard Starkey on drums. That's a nice concert poster. And here we have the world's largest Valentine's Day card. That's all I can think of. How ironic is that John's playing a harp, so we'll just leave it be. And now this is some original wallpaper. And I was just wondering if there's somewhere left in the world that still has a room with all that wallpaper up. Now, wouldn't that be nice? Remember that room you had that wall to wall, the giant Disney murals?
Yeah,
it was
amazing.
I wonder if it's still there. And here they are, those cute boys. Nicely combed hair. They were photogenic though. And this was, I think it was like April of '69. This is when they kind of got back together and go, hey, let's do one more good album, you know, because that Let It Be thing was kind of a fiasco. So this is when they began work on Abbey Road. And, as you know, these are just some of our posters. We got many more posters throughout the house, but I just wanted to come back and show these in the back room because they don't get seen much. And with that, we'll call it a day. So, we'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll be together once again. That ain't the words, is it? We'll meet again, don't know where, Don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Mein Führer, I can walk! No.